Ethiopia is Africa's oldest independent country. Unlike its neighbors, Sudan on the west, Somalia and Djibouti on the east, Kenya on the south, and Eritrea on the northeast, Ethiopia has never been colonized apart from a 5-year occupation by Mussolini from Italy, evident on the monuments found in the country's capital city, Addis Ababa. Ethiopia is administratively divided into 9 ethnically based states and 2 self-governing administrations. The country has maintained its Orthodox Christianity, being promoted by a national church which is active in many rural and urban regions. However, the Islam religion is also deeply rooted in several areas. This landlocked nation, located in the Horn of Africa, is known for its periodic droughts and famines, long civil war and armed conflict with Eritrea. The country practices mixed farming, amongst its main produce being a variety of cash crops for export consisting of coffee, oilseeds and sugarcane. Grains like teff, wheat, barley, corn, sorghum and millet are the most important field crops and the chief element in the diet of most Ethiopians. A meal without injera, an unleavened bread from teff flour, which is indigenous to Ethiopia, is unheard of. Amongst the animal products produced for export are hides and beeswax. Even as East Africa puts a lot of emphasis on its food security challenges, the role of education in social change and civil society participation in development cannot be ignored. Almost half of the country's population of 82.5 million live below the national poverty line, with majority of the poor households found in rural areas. There is a gender dimension of poverty, with high incidences found among female-headed households as compared to male-headed households. A large sector of Ethiopia's vulnerable rural population deals with degraded land, unreliable rainfall, and lack of basic services and public infrastructure. Social amenities such as schools, hospitals, water, and sanitation structures are very weak and exist only in the major towns. Only a meager fraction of the population has access to improved water sources and sanitation. Ethiopia is further affected by the consequences of the global climate change and increasing extreme unpredictable weather events. Despite all these impediments, the HIV prevalence rate is standing at 12.6% in towns and 2% in rural areas. A series of humanitarian relief, rehabilitation and development programs have been implemented by development agencies and international organizations. Ethiopia is one of the larger beneficiaries of the European Community, EC, Development Cooperation. Drinking water supply, energy and infrastructure have been an important focus of the collaboration. Maximizing the use of productive Ethiopian soils, projects to increase agricultural exports and rural development programs have also been implemented. With 4 to 7 million Ethiopians facing chronic food shortage each year, the economic cooperation also focuses on food security. Since its initiation in 1935, the Ethiopian Red Cross Society (ERCS) has saved lives in conflicts and disasters, protected livelihoods and organized recovery from disaster and crisis.
Initially, the purpose or the idea was to operate or to give emergency responses only. But as time goes on and as relative peace and stability prevails, Now we are focusing more on development workers. So we are currently having huge funds along with our PNSs, with the back donor being European Union, to work on development workers like long-term food security programs, disaster risk reductions, and also primary health care promotions.
The Ethiopian Red Cross is the leading national humanitarian organization in all parts of Ethiopia. With its headquarters in Addis Ababa, ERCS has 11 regional offices, 27 zonal branches, 42 district or Woreda branches, and 1,792 grassroots committees. The network is supported by 73,000 volunteers and 990 fully paid staff. German Red Cross, GRC, in cooperation with ERCS, is currently implementing an EU and GRC-funded comprehensive HIV/AIDS prevention, care and support project in Benishangul-Gumuz Regional State, BGRS, which is located in the western part of the country along the Sudanese border. The regional capital, Asosa, is situated approximately 800 kilometers west of Addis Ababa. With a total population of about 594,000, BGRS is one of the poorest and most food insecure regions in the country. The health status of the households in the region is low. Asosa Woreda or district, and in particular Asosa town, were chosen as areas of intervention because of the high prevalence of HIV/AIDS and other health problems. High population movements, increased traffic and cross-border trade, a new diversity of lifestyles and access to modern life have accelerated the spread of STIs and HIV/AIDS via the transmission corridor of Addis Ababa, Asosa, Sudan. The project is aimed at reducing the HIV prevalence and strengthening the community's capacity to respond to HIV/AIDS and its consequential impacts. It has so far recorded positive results as evidenced by an independent evaluation conducted in the year 2010. A high level of awareness about HIV/AIDS and sexually transmitted infections has been created at the rural and urban community, bringing about a positive sexual behavior shift.
They are doing something in the market, just selling injera, selling vegetables, so on and so forth. And they are good now. They have account in the bank, and they will collect money monthly for their sustainability.
Following this increase in community knowledge, there is now higher demand for voluntary counseling and testing, VCT, antiretroviral treatment, ART, sexually transmitted infections, STIs, antenatal care, ANC, and prevention of mother-to-child transmission, PMTCT services. This success has been as a result of various integrated activities, including a program started to improve the socio-economic conditions of HIV/AIDS orphans. The support for these children is done in collaboration with community-based self-help groups in the target area.
ቀይ መስቀል ይህን እርዳታ ከጀመረ ጊዜ አንስቶ ለ4 ዓመት ያህል መጀመሪያ ስክሪፕቶ፣ ደፍተር፣ ልብስ ሰረዳን ነበር። እንደገና በሁለተኛ ላይ አሁን ደግሞ 1 4 5 6 ፍየል ገዝቶን ይላል።
ERCS, in collaboration with GRC, is now providing integrated community-based care, nutrition support and ART adherence assistance for people living with HIV/AIDS and chronic diseases in the region.
አልሚ ምግቡንም ወስደናል፣ ብሩንም የመነገጃ ወስደናል እና እስከ ዛሬ ድረስ መቼም ደስተኛ ነኝ ነው ማለት ነው። በቀይ መስቀል
Due to the high demand for HIV services, ERCS is cooperating with public health authorities in the district to curb the menace. Following the fact that many of the people living with HIV/AIDS are in poor conditions, integrated mobile home-based care and support for AIDS patients is provided under the project.
በአራቱ አመት መሃል ብዙ ለውጥ አምጥቶ አልጋ ቁራኛ ሆኖ ሰውነታቸው ተሳሰረ ሁሉ አሁን በቀይ መስቀል ብርታት በእግራቸው ይሄዱ ተነስቶ ሰውን እስከምረዱ ድረስ የደረሱ አሉ።
ERCS is also using a new GRC-funded youth center in Asosa for sports and non-formal education to support the preventive HIV educational activities in the region. An international youth camp with Red Cross and Red Crescent volunteers from 5 East African countries and Germany, funded by the European Union, will take place in the center in November 2011. Public awareness through local media and other HIV/AIDS focused NGO networks are carried out occasionally.
As a partner, Red Cross here in Benishangul branch is working strongly with us on prevention. Prevention in a sense, community mobilization or awareness creation at the grassroots level, care and the support for whom affected and affected with HIV/AIDS, mainly child orphans and vulnerable children.
ERCS staff and volunteers, both at national and branch levels, are empowered with project management capacity building and HIV mitigation skills to help in the proper administration of project activities. The GRC-ERCS cooperation in 2010 has seen great achievements in the area of comprehensive HIV/AIDS prevention, care and support project in Benishangul-Gumuz regional state. Their activities have helped to improve the lives of the most vulnerable people of Ethiopia. Today, Ethiopia faces a dramatic level of food insecurity, ranking it as one of the hungriest countries in the world. About 4.5 million people, mainly in rural Ethiopia, lack access to sufficient, safe, nutritious food to maintain a healthy and active life. The overall Somali region and the agro-pastoral highlands of Bale in Oromia state continue to be highly food insecure following poor harvests and poor milk availability due to negative conceptions and low livestock productivity.
The area in Bale is very much affected by frequent droughts and water shortages, and we have designed together a project to implement the capacities of local farmers to grow more drought-resistant seeds, market them efficiently for income generation, and then also provide opportunities for community development among farmers' families.
The food situation is worsened by insecurity in parts of the region that limit supplies to local markets and affect regularity of relief distributions. Increasing numbers of Somali refugees arrive in eastern Ethiopia due to the armed conflict in southern and central Somalia. Their demand for food and firewood increase the environmental, health and food-related risks in the Ogaden region. Recognizing the need for agricultural support in the area, ERCS and GRC initiated the strengthening of agricultural production, diversification and quality of agricultural products in Bale zones, Goro and Ginir districts in the year 2010. With the EU funding, GRC is implementing a food security project in Oromia region.
EU is more interested for those to provide those potentially rich farmers, potentially rich. They've got the land, but because of lack of purchasing power of these improved varieties, their productivity has been declined. So in order to improve this situation, we have been working with potentially better farmers who can give us much more production and bringing to the market.
The absence of quality seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, and modern agricultural knowledge among farmer communities are the main problems that directly affect food insecurity in the area, thus causing hunger and dependency on humanitarian aid. Limited access to markets, lack of storage facilities, and proper transport, especially during heavy rains, are further constraints.
In the Bale Food Facility project, hardware and software are the main components of the project. We are constructing irrigation systems, but also storage and marketplaces for spices which are produced after providing seeds to the farmer.
Alleviating the situation, negative effects of food prices threaten the agricultural productivity, livelihood and food security of 46,105 beneficiaries. The food facility project in Bale region started in early 2010. Following the setting up of field project offices in Goba, Goro and Gnir, local technical staff were employed. During October 2010 and June 2011, two major distribution of seeds, fertilizers, and herbicides were undertaken successfully with local government authorities and farmer cooperatives.
Projecting kuni ayya gaariidha gargaarsisaa nu gaariidha nulle itti cimnee hojjenna isaanis akkanuma yaa jabaatanu.
The project's primary objective is to strengthen agricultural production capacity and mitigation of negative effect of food prices in order to strengthen livelihoods and to increase food security for 9,221 households with 46,105 family members.
After they sold their produce, they changed their lives. Few farmers are observed to construct house with modern corrugated sheet irons in the town. The others bought camels and goats, even ox.
As a result of this project, quality and diversity in agricultural products in local markets will be improved. Protection of natural and human resources and farming in the drought areas and cooperatives will also be strengthened, especially food production skills, storage and marketing. In addition, the project will improve interaction between farmers, factories, and cooperatives. In order to build capacities of the primary beneficiaries, training in crop and natural resources management for farmers is conducted. Ethiopian Red Cross collaborates with local NGOs in the Training of Trainers program.
ኮምፖስት በፊት በጣም አነስተኛ ገበሬ ነበር ሲጠቀም የነበረ ማለት የናህል ግንዛቤው አልነበረም።
Rehabilitation of existing irrigation systems and promotion of water harvesting is undertaken to improve the agricultural output. Provision of seeds, fertilizers, and pesticides to the farmers boosting their crop harvest is part of the project's activities.
በጣም ምርጥ ዘሩ በቀይ መስቀል ደረጃ የመጣ ነው ምናምን ተብሎ ጥሩና በሽታም መቋቋም የሚችል ስንዴ ነው ለአካባቢው ጥሩ የሆነ ምርት መስጠት ዝርያዎች ያው በሽታን በመቋቋምና ፈጥኖ በመድረስ ጥሩ ምርት አለ።
The EC-funded food facility project is implemented in collaboration with GRC, local agricultural authorities, and farmers' cooperatives in Bale zone.
Now is in the full implementation period, so everything is going on actually. So all the constructions are being implemented now, and all the major activities that require the biggest expenditures have been done. So it's coming to a positive end.
As the project progresses, a total of 200,000 rural inhabitants are expected to benefit indirectly and 40,000 directly from more stable prices, higher quality, and diversification of the agricultural products available on the markets. Through this project, the disaster preparedness and response capacities of local communities, authorities in Bale region, and ERCS are strengthened at local and national level.
በጣም ጥሩ ሐሳብ ነው ዛሬም እንደውም ፎርፊቸርም ጥሩ ሐሳብ ነው።
We thank the European Union and all active partners of this project for their support and teamwork.